Welcome to this session. Parenting with Depth is an initiative run by Shraddha Patel, myself Ram Kumar. This session, Parenting Decoded, is a preview to a 13-week detailed parenting course that we run. So here we plan to take you through what we will exactly do in the course, what kind of resources will we use, what will exactly the flow that we'll take through the course. And today, we are very, very thankful to Deepthi Natarajan, who has joined us. Deepthi has volunteered to go through the flow with us and share her experience of using these tools and resources along with her child. So thank you so much, Deepthi, for coming.
Thanks, Ram. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So there are around 7 billion of us on this planet, and no two of us are exactly the same. Whenever we find out what is unique in us and what is unique about ourselves, and if we are able to live that uniqueness in different aspects of our life, it truly gives us a lot of joy. Now, how do we find out who we are and what our child is? So we at Parenting with Depth, we use this model. This model is basically derived based on work done by Arul Dev, who has written a book called Into Great Depths of Being, and also another book called Flame Within. So it's a model based on integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo. And the model basically says that who we are, we can look at us in 3 layers. The innermost layer is the core. And then there's the parts of being around it. And then what's called skills or competencies on the outside. So we'll see this one by one. So what is the core, first of all? So the core is basically who we are truly. It's like our inmost presence, or it's like what's our core nature? What's our core purpose? It's an inner aspiration we try to hold all through our life. Now, why do we need to understand what's our core? Because if we can connect every moment to the core, which is the essence of who we are, then it's almost like being at home in our most authentic inner state. And once we are able to do this, life becomes really, full of joy. Life becomes really enjoyable. And if we are able to do the same thing for our child also, understand who our child is fundamentally at his or her core, then we are able to connect to the child very well. And together we are able to really travel through this wonderful journey of life with a lot of bliss and joy. So that's the core. Now, next one we come to is the part of the being. So parts of the being are, you can think of as 8 different tools or instruments that we have within ourselves. And we'll come to this in greater detail in just a bit. Now, these enable us to live who we are at our core in the world. So in essence, the part of being enable us to demonstrate certain skills, competencies, behavior, etc. outside. And finally, the third layer is the layer of the competencies or skills. This is basically what we do in our life, what people see us doing, whether it's like whether we get angry, whether we do something positive, etc. It's all on the competencies layer. That's what people actually see us, So fundamentally, then what do we have to do? At a core level, we have to enable ourselves and our children to get in touch with who we are and try and access that essence as many number of times in a day as possible. At the part of being level, we need to nurture the strengths of different parts of being to, if there are any challenges or limitations that are occurring, which we'll just discuss in a bit, then we need to overcome those challenges. And at a competencies level, at the part of being level, then there are a set of practices that you can do to nurture different parts of being, to nurture the strengths, so that these skills can be amply then demonstrated. What we are going to do next is take you through, one second, please. So what we are going to do now is take you through an activity of how to do core discovery for yourself and your child, and how does it really help in the process. So over to you, Shraddha and Deepthi.
Thank you, Ram. So yes, a little bit more about what Ram just explained. So there are certain decisions that we make in life, right? Most crucial decisions, and there are decisions even that your child will go through when you're growing up, or even for the decision to have had have a child. And then what school do we put them in? What are they learning at home? What stream will they go? So on and so forth, right? So there are why is it important to even understand the core of who we are, right? And how does it matter? So as you know, Ram said that if you know your core, you can keep going back to it, and then all your actions come out of that place. And therefore, when a child is growing, there are different essences that they will keep showing as they grow. 0 to 8 years is typically where they kind of are building all their parts of being one after the other. So as parents, are we able to catch which part, or what is the core essence that they're living in that particular month, or what is the new skill that they're picking up, and how do we nurture them in a way that they will take in? You know, we could use, typically we use either our own methods of how we were taught, or we look at other parents and see how their methods are to, you know, give inputs to children. So how do we realize what is in that particular moment, in that particular month, because they're quickly growing when they're younger? What is it that the child needs, right? And in a way that's suitable for the child. So with that, moving on, where I'll probably have Dipti kind of take us through. So Dipti has been a colleague in this journey for quite a long time with us now. And not only have we seen each other discover our course, but we are also seeing each other living our essences within ourselves in our own journeys and with our children. So we thought she'd probably be the right person for us, you know, who could join us today to take us through her experiences. So Dipti, can you throw a little bit light about how you went about discovering your core, and how did, you know, you kind of understand what your child's core is, how it's you know, growing, and how does that help both of you interact better in your journey?
Sure, Shraddha, and thanks a lot for having me on this. Gratitude for that. A little bit about my core, to give you a background. My core I discovered very late, like let's say in 2018-19 only is when I truly discovered my core. Until then, it's been like there would be glimpses of who I really am. So according to me, if I had to put a definition to core, it's a specific chemical composition of each individual, or a specific frequency in which everyone is born. Unless you're tuned to that or you're in alignment with that, you always have certain things coming your way and you're not very happy or you're not fulfilled. So to discover that, it took quite a long time, and I had to get in touch with Arun, and all of you also helped me put that together. The core that I discovered during the journey was power, compassion, silence, and faith. So these are the qualities which emerged as my core. And although I was in this journey of doing this discovery and other things, unless I had a session with y'all, it never really struck me that I could do this for my child as well. And thanks for bringing up that point, and it's changed a lot of things once I did that. During my journey of discovering what my child's core was, it also helped me understand as an individual how I could be not only a better parent, but how I could have a independent relationship with a child. It's not necessarily a parent-child. It could be equal, or sometimes I've even learned a lot of things from my daughter, to be honest. So this discovering the core of her and mine has been quite a wonderful journey of understanding who I am as well, as a person. So I think bringing that aspect into this parenting is a wonderful thing, because it's not just concentrating on the child, but as a field, like how Ram would put it, if you only have a fertile field, only then you would have better fruits. Like, we are the field, the environment that we live in. So during this journey, the core that I found of my child, that is Vidatri. I have 2 children, by the way. First is a daughter. Her name is Vidatri. She's 7 years old. And I have a son who is 1 year and 9 months old now. So I've done the core discovery of only my daughter yet. And hers is connection. She always wants to be connected with people, with a lot of other things. So connection is something that is very strong within her. Creativity, sensory enjoyment, intensity, and abundance. So it would all sound like, it's very nice. But once you get into the process, how did I discover all this? what I did was I was observing her, not only her, even me. I observed what are the patterns that I have, what are the things that excite me or make me really very worried or sad. So using all this data is when I try to see what is the pattern that's coming out and what are the qualities that are really standing out of this, out of all the experiences or data that I've put forth. And that's when I started understanding that these are the specific qualities which are actually, standing out. And also I've tested with my daughter, is it really connection or is there something else, is what I've tested with her. And I've kind of understood that, according to the data or according to my observation and understanding, this is the core. It could be very different when she's seeing it for herself, because children, we may think it's just a child, but children actually have a very different view of the world and the way they see things. So it could be very different according to her. So this is how the core discovery happened for me and my daughter so far.
Thank you, Dipti. Few points, very, very well put. And, just would like to also bring the observation that the core that you hold and the core that Vedatri holds, they may have commonalities, but they are different. And as a parent, you may not have that quality naturally in you to give, but the moment you know that there is a different quality that the child needs, you're able to offer. And in the space that you offer, you also gain that quality yourself, right? So, and that's how, in Parenting with Them, when me and Ram were also discussing about tenants, both of us through our experiences, and you've just, with a lot of other parents, but you've just proved it one more time that it is actually a co-evolutionary journey, to say so, and it is a process of evolution. A lot of women, also go through postpartum depression when the child is born, right? So, but in that, they say that there are so many qualities. So you basically, it's like a rebirth for the mother. That's also how it is put forth, right? And few of us use the portal to evolve. Like for me, it was really, truly, after Kiara's birth, and as you said, that we pick up so many things from them. So I can't tell you the kind of qualities that I've learned from her, the kind of compassion that she shows. And when you pick that up and when you give it back to them, so that there are very, COVID has brought all of us in a place where there are no boundaries now. There is no work life, which is different. There is no personal life, which is different. So we don't have different spaces to work with different things. All is in one place. And then when children are also in that space, and actually to say so, we are in the child space, which is the house, and we've taken over. And there were a lot of moments when, I would tell my child to kind of, move away, or go away, there's a call. And so the initial 1 or 2 months were very difficult, but the moment, as you said, you understand the core, and then you start giving that to them. It ideally, in probably any call, if at all she comes, just takes me half a minute to mute. She just needs to hear that I'm telling somebody else that, what, can you just give me half a minute? I put them on mute, I attend to her, and I come back, and it's just so much of a flow. But the kind of things that we carry as soon as the child comes, we may not know, but we were working with one of the parents, and she happened to say that, even when the child, so even in the morning meditations, this example came up, that when the child was walking in, the child may want to talk to me or not want to talk to me, but the moment I see the child, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to focus now. I'm going to get disturbed now. So a lot of those things kind of help in both ways. So the discovery of core actually gives you an opportunity to know the child more. So thanks a lot for sharing that. Ram, would you like to add anything about the core essence before we move to parts of being?
No, Shraddha, I think Deepti and you have covered it so beautifully. So once we know the core essence, then like we saw, the next part is to find out like what are the different parts of being, and where are we with respect to them, like how strong are we, which is our leading part, which are the leading parts of being, and then how do we then really use them in order to make sure that we are able to bring our core in whatever we do in life. So So there are 8 different parts of being. If you see this, the left side of the screen,
Ram, you may want to go to the previous one.
yeah, I'll just quickly. So these are the 8 parts of being on the left side.
Okay. So,
So basically, we'll start from the bottommost one, the physical one. So when we consider the physical is basically comprised of our body and our habits. Now, the body is basically the form in which we live and act in this world. It's like the container and in which we kind of move around, right? So body needs to be really exercised well. We need to provide is nourishing food. Whatever sleep or rest is required, we need to provide the body. So that's essentially physical. So in the course, we'll cover each part of being in greater depth. So what are all, let's say, the different, how do we then work on each part of the being? If we have to strengthen something, then, we help you understand each part of being in great detail. Here for paucity of time, we'll just cover it, we'll just cover the main things and then we'll move on. So that's physical, basically body and our habits. Then if you see the next 3, which is the sensory enjoyment, dynamic energy and emotional care, they are basically the life energy or the vital life energy. So senses basically are, basically using our sense organs outside or even trying to sense inside. So senses basically seek pleasure and they try and avoid pain. And depending on the level of our evolution, the level of evolution of our being, the pleasures that are sought by the senses could either be crude or they could be aesthetics. So that's basically the senses, how we perceive the world around us or how we try and perceive the world within us as well. Then we come to dynamic energy, which is the center of power, center of drive, center of passion. This gives the strength that we need, the courage, the dynamism, all of that emerges from this particular part of being. Then we come to emotional care, which is the center of, love, care, giving, warmth, inclusion, and all of those aspects. Basically, the feeling of love, feeling of connection that Deepthi spoke about a child, and giving, all those aspects basically are, characteristics of this particular part of being. And then if you see, we have the data mind, creative mind, and the integrative mind. So this is the mind center. So in the mind center, basically we have data mind, which is basically dealing with analyzing and processing all of the information, and creative mind, which basically then tries and aligns your purpose, who you are at the core, and other concepts, and then how can you creatively manifest it in your life. So that's the creative mind. And the integrative mind, creative mind is basically things, stuff that helps you do new things, align your vision and all of that stuff. And integrative mind or pure mind is the part of the mind that tries to look at the essence of different things. Even finding out your own core when you do it as an activity, you're using this part of your being. And so this basically helps us look at different perspectives, try to find out. So, now that I have seen all these perspectives, what's emerging out of all of that. So this basically helps you integrate multiple things, cull out the essence of things, etc. So these are 3 different parts of the mind. And then there is the deeper self. Deeper self is basically like the inner guide, which is guiding us in our evolution, which is basically helping us. This is the deepest part of ourselves. We try and connect to it. And if we are connected to our deeper self and to our core, we are basically able to evolve very, very well. So these basically are the 8 parts of being. Now, in the course, what we do is we use an assessment called InStrengths, which has been developed by Dr. Uma Narayanan as a part of a PhD that she did at IIT. It's an extensively researched assessment tool using the part of being methodology. And what we do there is what you're seeing right now in the screen. And thank you so much, Deepthi, for allowing us to share this with all of our participants. This is a part of Deepthi's InStrengths report. This basically shows kind of a view of how the different parts of being are for Deepthi. Just that which one is probably stronger at this point in time, which one is, etc. So again, I would like, Shraddha, would you like to discuss with Deepthi about the InStrengths report?
Yeah. Yeah, so let's do that, Deepthi, and then probably I'll consolidate about. So Deepthi, this is, I remember when we had this discussion, we did talk about an InStrengths report that you did 2 years back, and this is the recent one as of probably yesterday. And You did, I mean, we didn't discuss much in detail, but you did share that, you know, it was great to have done it again because you've seen the shifts. Now, we may not want to go to the shifts right now because that is a longer conversation. But can you throw light on your understanding of the instance report? So now you have the report. We have a detailed report also, which actually tells you your patterns, right? So for example, for somebody who's integrative mind, as in yours, is to a larger extent developed than the others. That doesn't mean others are not developed, but it's just that you use that part of mind more, right? So could you share a few glimpses from the report to say that, you know, if somebody's integrative mind is more, what does it mean? How do they make decisions? What is it that they value? Yeah, so that would help a little bit. Also, if you could touch on your parenting journey through this, so that will bring a link to how a parent could use the report. While we cannot do this for children, so this is a disclaimer, this is only for adults right now. We will help you discover the core and help you, you know, put journal for observing the parts of the being of the child.
So this instance report is very much in alignment with my core. If you see, dynamic energy is very high, and my core is power. And also integrative mind, if you see, faith is very high, silence is high, deeper self, and compassion, which also comes from deeper self for me. So this really reflects as to what I am at the moment, and what are the things that I generally do. And while making decisions, it's either action oriented for me. I need a lot of action and moving here and there, and it should be quick, things like that. Or I need to see variety and it should be very different. I don't like mundane tasks. So those are the things. Or, you know, while if I have to make a decision using my integrative mind, and it wouldn't be data based, it would be more like an intuitive decisions that I would make, or I would see the whole picture rather than, you know, going only based on data. Let's say the data says you need to do this, but I'll just go a step back and see what it really means, the whole puzzle. Is it fitting together? So that's the kind of decisions that I would make. And coming back to how it helps with parenting, this particular report, as I'm seeing the report now, is when I'm able to actually see a pattern that the areas which are very low for me is very high for my daughter. So we complement each other. Usually they say, you know, the husband and wife complement each other, but in my case, my daughter and I complement each other. Her emotional care is extremely high. But if you see dynamic energy, it's not very high. Like, let's say, to give you a very typical scenario, both of us have a lot of struggle with homework. And I'd say, you know, you have to finish this homework within 8 o'clock, then you're a champion, or I'll do something for you. And one day she came up to me and said, so what? I don't want to be a champion. I don't care. This is exactly what she told me. And I was taken aback. That's when I understood, yeah, of course, it doesn't matter to her. And then I told her, you do this, you know, it'll be very funny. She had to make sentences, subject and predicate. And then I read it to her in a very different way. I made funny sentences for her. So her sensory enjoyment was satisfied. And then I told her, you could create many more sentences like this. So let's see what are the funny things that you could come up with before you write in whatever it is. And then she was so interested. She finished the whole book, in fact, after we had this conversation. And it happened within half an hour. I've been trying to make her to do homework for the past 2 days. And then this worked. So it's typically the way you understand, you talk to them in the language that they understand. And I also understood during this journey, how difficult would it be for the child, for the parent to force something on them when they are not in a position to understand. They feel betrayed that, you know, I trust in you, and is this what you're giving me? I'm here for you to nurture. And they don't have anybody else to go to. So that's one thing that I very strongly felt when I was, you know, talking to my child about homework, that you need to complete this, you have to do this. She says, why? I don't see a purpose in doing this. So the instance report, as I see it, it comes in really handy for me to say what are my strong areas, but it need not be the strong areas of my child. So I could use these strong areas as osmosis effect, so that could really bring it in her. So that's how I've used this report, and it has helped me in the parenting journey to a great extent.
Amazing, Dipti. You actually brought out a very good point, which is connecting the POBs back to the, I mean, parts of being back to the core. When you said that, what is the purpose behind which I'm doing that, right? So for somebody, so let's say for your daughter, when she's doing this homework, she's probably seeking connection. And if you understand that purpose of connection, then it becomes for her learning what you are teaching is just, for her, what she's seeking in that process is connection. So when you do that, the ability for her to absorb that particular thing will become even more easier. And, for the rest of the parents, we'll actually, when we look at a report, or, we've also created a matrix through this. And from that matrix, we'll take you through more details. But amazing, Dipti, and thanks for bringing out that connection between what is the purpose behind this activity for a child, and how can a parent therefore nurture not only the child to count or learn a language, but nurture deeper values, things that they value more.
Thank you so much, Deepthi, for bringing that out very clearly. So we've now seen how do you discover the core, and then we are then seen how Deepthi, understood aspects of her core and her child's core, and then how the parts of being, profiling and seeing the parts of being, help Deepthi understand how she and her daughter complement each other, and how, if you understand where your child comes from, which part of being is really stronger in the child, how you can actually work with the child, or move around with the child every day in a much more joyous way, and help the child also provide a nurturing environment to the child. After we
Not just that, I'd like to add one more thing here. So if I have to improve on my parts of the being which are low, if I'm with her more, like, I'm present with her, she has a lot of compassion and empathy for people. So if I'm with her at such a situation, or I understand from her shoes what is her view, or with respect to data mine, she observes a lot. So when I piggyback on the child's experience, or when I start looking through the child's eyes, I think I'll also be able to improve on my parts of the being which are weak. So
Yeah.
that's another learning as a parent. And one more thing that I'd like to put across here in this forum is, let's not look at it as a one-way communication. We can also take in a lot of learnings from the child, because it's the child is, I should say, is more evolved than us, because it's come after us, and at a greater journey of evolution perhaps. So that's my take on children. They are far ahead of us. Like how we feel we are far ahead of our parents or the previous generation, the same way they are ahead of us, and there's nothing wrong in us learning from them.
Yeah, lovely, Deepthi. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So taking that context further, so whenever, let's say, we have parts of being, let's say, for example, there's a part of being that either in us or in our child is not that well developed, and we want it to get developed. Now, there are 2 or 3 ways of working on it. We can either directly work on that part of being. For example, let's say we want to work on a part of being like data mine. We can either directly work on that part of being and create practices that can then help us, everyday inner practices that we can do at a being level to do it. Or we can utilize another part of being. We can take all these parts of being are internally connected, right? So we can use any other part of being that's really strong in us or in our child, and then leverage that part of being and take its help in order to craft practices in order to develop this part of being. So what has been done is, actually there's this tool called Parenting Practices Matrix, which is based on inner practices matrix developed again by Arul. So in this, what we do is we try and give you do it yourself practices, kind of practices that you can do in the moment to basically strengthen different parts of being as the need may be. Now, the matrix essentially comprises of 8 parts of being. I know this is not very legible, but we'll zoom in on particular parts of the matrix very soon. So on the left side, if you see, there are these 8 parts of the being. And then at the top also, in the column side, there are 8 parts of being. And each part of being, if you see, is mapped against each other. So there are practices listed, 64 practices listed in each cell of the matrix. So essentially what it means is, if you take the diagonal of the matrix, so suppose you want to work on physical and you want to directly work on physical, then you would go to the first cell of the matrix, which is here, and work on that. So that's like physical and physical. So basically it will be this cell. If you want to work on, let's say, dynamic energy directly, then you would work on this. Then you take the practice that's listed in this cell and then work on it. However, let's say if you want to work on a part of being that's not very well developed and you want to develop it, and you want to leverage another part of being that's like really well developed in you. So let's say, for example, we want to work on physical, but then we want to use another part of being, say emotional care, that's like really well developed. Then you would go and choose either this cell because it's the intersection of physical and because it's the emotional intersection of physical and emotional care, or you choose this cell, which is again intersection of physical and emotional care, and see which practice resonates more with you. Now, again, Deepti, if you know the example that you took or any other example, if you could help us understand in terms of the matrix, it'll be really helpful for us.
Sure, I indeed did use the matrix because going back to my homework example, there have been several instances because I have dynamic energy and I used to give it as a goal. When my daughter refused, I would get so angry. I would be so furious and I would shout at her and I would say all kinds of things which, you know, will threaten her. And then I understood, is there a different way of working it? And that's when I went to the matrix and I exactly used the empowering, the one next to dynamic energy, empowering others to discover and express their potential, passions and strengths, helping others to succeed. So that's precisely what I used. So for me, my dynamic energy was anyway going to be blown because I was empowering someone. And it was very good for my daughter also because she had that space where she could do whatever she wanted
Doing
and she
potty
would
here
reveal
or in Siddhi
what
room?
she wanted to. Sorry, someone asked.
No, that's okay. You can carry
Sorry,
on.
Deepti, go ahead. Yeah.
So that really gave us the space for me to use my power and for my daughter, wherein it brought in connection to her to what she was doing and not just that with me as well. So I was present with her fully to do this. So this exactly was a practice which came in handy. When we read this, it may be very theoretical or abstract, but when we look into it as to how we could, you know, use it in real time scenario, I think this is a very classic example. At least that's what I really did. I just sat with her. Empowering her was, you know, giving that freedom and independence. So that really struck the chord for both of us to, you know, get in doing and accomplishing something together.
Ram, there's you know, one aspect that we could also probably bring in for parents here, that we saw all the 8 parts of being that Ram kind of took us through, right? Now, for all those 8 parts of being, it is like a polarity, right? So there is, let's say, an emotional care, and it is on a polarity where there's a 0, and then it goes positive, and then there is a negative which goes bad. So the other observations that we've had from working with parents is also that those who have strong parts of being, like for example, Dipti said her essence is actually power, which means she can move things, manifest things, you know, get things done very quickly. But which also means that the example that she shared, which was also of a place where it came from, to say that, you know, 8 o'clock, by 8 o'clock get this done, you know, but the child, but for the child, that is not what is important. For the child, what is important is connection.
Only potty, no susu?
Divya, I'm going to put you on mute again. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I have no idea how that came on.
No worries. No worries. This is all a part of the game. And we are glad that even while you're doing this, you're here. So thank you very much for joining us. But yeah, going back to Dipti's example. So while we, you know, also understand parts of being and our essences, we also realize that things that are stronger in a positive way also have a way to show up in a negative way. And those patterns are something that we'll also deal with. Like, for example, when Ram spoke about sensory joy and fun, right? Sometimes for our convenience, we do start putting children to a screen time, right? It's very easy to serve children food when they're looking at something because they're focusing there and you're focusing to give. But what you're actually doing at that point in time is that you're taking the child away from the consciousness of actually using their fingers, eating the food, tasting it, and all of that, right? Instead, could we sit and tell stories? But I know that there is a place of convenience, and there are certain times that as parents also we need space. So how do we kind of bridge this gap, right? Because it's difficult every time to be able to pay that much attention to the child, and in smaller spans, how do we build connection? In smaller spans, how do we realize? So while senses is amazing as a part of being that we have, it also causes addiction. Addiction can be of screen time, of we know what happens with chocolates and ice creams and all of that, and a lot of other things as they get into being adults. So dynamic energy, another thing was anger, which I think all of us pretty much go through. The after we say, try and explain things to them for about 2-3 times, and when we actually see the child becoming a little bigger, right, 4.5, 5, 6, 7, we try to think that they're going to understand everything that we are saying, but their mental capacity is only building them. But by then we've already told them that, I told you 3 times already, why don't you understand? But if not, it's as simple as that. And then, at each point in time, to get in touch with the part of being, to realize what is in us, our need that needs to change, and therefore how is it that we can fully give to our children. So yeah, Ram, before you moved on, I mean, we took another example of a matrix. I thought I'll just tie this piece together, because a lot, we're all going through a lot of challenges as parents. So
no, definitely. And both from the aspect of addressing challenges as well as from the aspect of development, I think the matrix is a really good tool that kind of brings in and helps us actually craft a practice, because then it gives you something tangible to do in the moment, right? Otherwise, it's like, yeah, I know what's the core, I know what's a part of being, so now what do I do next, right? So the matrix really brings in all the learnings together and then gives you in the moment practices. So definitely it's like very, very useful. Yeah.
No, very true, Ram. And also the fact that matrix touches somebody from a root cause level, it doesn't touch from a peripheral level to say, okay, this is gone now, we'll see when it comes next time. It's not that. It's actually, attacking the problem where the problem is. So
yeah. The other advantage also is that these matrix, the practices are all doable as we throughout the day as we are with the child, right? It's not like practice that we probably do sometime else, and then once the child comes, then we are into the challenge and we forget it. It's actually a practice that we can exactly do right when the challenge is happening, or when, let's say, we are trying to develop the child. So that way it's like very, very useful for this thing. Shraddha, in the aspect of cards a bit, Shraddha, Deepti, do you want to maybe share your experience of using the instruments cards, because that's another resource we are going to be using in the course. So do you want to share any aspect of how you have used it with your children?
Deepti, open for a live demo.
Live demo, not possible.
Okay,
but
so then
yeah, I can surely share how it's been. So that's the most fun part, especially with kids, because it's something very colorful and new to them, and they like playing cards. And my daughter's seen playing cards across, so she also wanted to play. She thought it was something like Uno cards. I asked her to just pick some card, and then I asked her to demonstrate it or explain to us what she understood by that. The things that she brought across was very different from what I would think, and especially considering the age that she is, the kind of things that she mentioned is very, very different. Like something related to people in integrative mind had come, and then she said, you should not separate grandparents. You should keep them together, is what she said, because they need some kind of a support. So you should never separate grandparents, is what she said. Actually, my in-laws, my father-in-law is with us, and my mother-in-law is with my brother-in-law. So although they are very close by, but she could sense that came in from integrative mind, not just there, from the connection, also from her emotional care as well. So the way they look at things is very different. Their lens is very beautiful, I must say, than what I would have, at least. So it's an interesting activity that we could do on a Sunday. Let's say, you don't know how to spend time with your child. or you're bored of TV, you don't want to go out anywhere with this COVID and other things, you just take out that cards and do an action play, or some kind of a quiz as to what they think, or 30 seconds challenge, something like that. It would be really fun for us.
Thank you, Dipti. I probably, so these are the instance cards for them, and they actually have various resources. So the 8 parts of being that you saw, there are about 64 resources as a part of these cards. I'd probably, Ram, share an example of a parent that we worked with on this one. So, different cards have different resources, right? And different parts of being. So, yeah, Shalu, you have a question or something to... Sorry, can you unmute? Can't hear you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
So I'm not able to hold my emotions. I don't know why and how. I somehow first time attending this, and as if it looks like I was in search of this. I have a daughter, 6-year-old, and I'm a special educator also. I work with children with autism. And this lockdown has pushed me toward this parenting because of COVID. I was at home, so I have seen my child and all those things. Earlier, it was like, hardly seeing her. But really, like I was in search of this and attended, a couple of workshops, read lot and all those things. I'm just, want to know how to do this course and how I can be, assessed or what to do.
No,
So I want
Shalu,
to jump to that, how I can get to.
We will jump to that soon after this one example. And we will, so Shalu, if you could, Ram, if you could share your number and she can kind of WhatsApp you so that,
I'll just,
we don't
Shalu,
have
I'll
to...
just send you
So
my...
Or Shalu, you can send it on
I
a
don't know
private
how
message to Ram.
I got, thank you so much. Okay, done. Thank you so much.
But
Thank you.
Shalu,
I'm like blessed today.
no,
I
we
get
are
them.
blessed, in a way, because you said that you also work with children who are autistic. We really want this course to reach to more people who could take it further. For us, it's not restricting only to parents who could, use in their, in their own environment, but it is actually also for people who can take it forward in whichever form that they wish, So if this is something which is very basic, isn't it, Ram? And you could use it with your own tools, with anything that you have learned with, right? But just these are like fundamentals. So yes, we will definitely share this, Shalu, with you. So
it's so fundamental, and looking for it, what can make it, crux to the some points, and do this, and you will get this. Lovely. Like I'm overwhelmed. I'm like in like very different mode. I found what I was looking for, and
thank you.
Blessed. That's it.
Thank you so much for bringing that. Actually, I teach music to a few kids with special needs, and I have found this very useful. So, it'll be really nice to connect with you and also, learn, it'll be like mutual learning to learn from you as to what you do. So thank you so much for bringing this up.
Thank you. I will be learning. I'm like, I just want to hurry up to talk to you and, do this course or do my assessment.
Yeah.
Done. No, sure, Shalu. So yeah, I don't know, Ram, should I go back to the cards now?
Yeah, please, the example that you are saying. With
so no, I do want to share this example with the parents. So the child is 7 years old, and she was using these cards, and one of the cards that came up was mental widening. And his parents actually been using these cards for quite some time. So when the card came, of course, these words are a little difficult for the child to understand, right? So the child said, what is mental widening? So the parent said that, when you want to eat an ice cream now, and when mama tells that not today, you can probably have it over the weekend, or, there are some designated times. But then you start crying. Because you are holding your view, mama is holding mama's view, and both of you all are different. So one is holding one's thought, the other is holding other's thought. And mental widening is actually understanding what mama is saying from a perspective of health and all of that, and integrating that perspective into yours, saying that, it is a good view to hold, and then to move on. So after this explanation happened, actually somebody asked the child about, or the child went and spoke about something else, like, can we go here? Okay, so something of that sort. And when the mother it was the father actually, and the father replied back to explaining something, she said okay, and then she came back to the mother to say that, you know what, I practiced mental widening today. And so it brings so much joy, you know, when children start understanding perspectives. And with the help of these cards, it holds value. Like, you know, how Dipti said, you could either use it as one of the Sunday games that you have, or actually use it on a daily basis to pick up one card, explain to your child in their language, and see during the day how the child builds on to that quality. And when this parent was sharing this example, I was actually thinking, I wish I had something like this when I was little, you know, it would have made my understanding so much more easier about life. So this course is also not only about how do you bring up your child to have better qualities, or, you know, how do you further them in their education, but it's also about life learning in a way. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Shraddha. That's so very helpful. Have very similar experiences with kids, and I've tried using this with my son and nephew also. So like we just take these cards, and then they love this because each of these cards is like grouped by color. Each part of being has one color. So they really love spreading it and then bringing together these cards of similar color, arranging it, and then I was just talking to Deepthi, I think yesterday, and we were talking about how kids have such innovative ways of, they come up with such brilliant ideas. And just a few weeks back, I was just discussing this creative mind, cards on creative mind with them, and one of this says out of the box. So, and my nephew, he just so I just asked him, so what do you think this means, what should, like, so he's like really crazy about cars. So he started giving me this idea, saying you know what, I don't want any of these cars that run on petrol and diesel. I want cars to run on electricity or some other source. So then I said, okay, but like, what is out of box? So in that, so he said, out of the box is like something that's not happening right now. So I said, so what is it that is not happening right now? He said, you know, I said, but electricity, do you mean battery operated vehicles? Because that's already there. So then he said, no, you know, if you have that, then you need charging points everywhere. What I mean is something like, you know what, like train, you know, you have a wire or something or some other thing from which electricity comes, and then the vehicle can just use it and run, you know, so that you don't have to like sit and charge in one place, etc. So like the way, I mean, they connect multiple things without any boundaries. It's like amazing. So yeah, I mean, these resources really enable so much of that. So thank you so much for sharing those examples, Deepthi. Yeah. So in a way, you know, and Shalu, to your question, what the course is and what do we do in the course? So we're planning to start next Sunday. So it'll run for 13 Sundays. There are 4 key tenets of the course. One is child-centered parenting. So the focus, the center here is the child. Of course, we do work on ourselves. We try to improve ourselves. There's a lot of that. But as a parent, we come from you know, the child's needs, the child's core, and how do we then nourish it, etc. Spotting uniqueness of the child, like we saw, how do we then look at the core, what's the child's core, how is the child's uniqueness, and how can we allow that uniqueness to manifest. Providing an environment that nourishes the child, holistic nourishment, and then parenting as a co-creative, enjoyable journey, you know, between the parent and the child. So these are primarily the 4 key tenets around which the whole of the course is structured. Now, who should attend or why should somebody attend? So, you know, maybe somebody is already doing, you know, a lot, doing very, very well, etc. You know, and, you know, this whole thing of parenting, there are different things that come up at different stage of a child's life and our life as well. So, you know, anybody who's doing well could, you know, if he or she wants to attend, come and learn how they can become, you know, these deeper concepts, and how they can become a better, you know, manifest their better parenting self, and prepare for, let's say, the next stage of child's life, for example. If there are challenges that are being faced, then this approach helps you to really go deeper And sometimes what happens is the way we are brought up, we often operate from a mind level. And much of the coaching, even if parents go for parental coaching or guidance, focuses on working only from the mind. Whereas, like you saw the examples that Deepti gave or Shraddha gave, they could be, you may have to come from other parts of the being which are not the mind, the emotional center or the energy center. So unless we address a challenge from the part of being which can actually solve the problem in a sustainable way, the challenge, what you will see is that maybe temporarily for a few days or something, you feel that things are getting better, but then it sooner or later comes back in. So what our approach, the way we do also helps is that since you are working fundamentally at the level of the part of the being, you are actually able to solve challenges in a sustainable manner. So that's another thing. And like Deepti said, children are like amazing teachers, amazing life coaches, so much to learn from them. So, this is just about that unique parent and child journey that you have with your child. And what basically do we cover in this course? For a child, let's say, for example, if you want to understand about your child, you learn what's the core of the child, who your child is fundamentally, what's the core purpose, what are the different strengths of the child, how can you or the child leverage those strengths, what are the needs and aspirations of the child, and how can we then provide an environment for those needs and aspirations to be met and to flourish. As a parent, you understand who you are, what are your own strengths, like you understand the strengths of the child, and what's your parenting approach like right now, and are there any tweaks that you have to make in that approach to make it more holistic, etc. And how can you, basically it's like a more positive approach, like how can you leverage your strength in order to have a very joyful parenting journey. So then we spoke about the matrix, which helps you come up with in the moment do it yourself practices that you can do and move towards a sustainable change in any behavior or anything that you want to change. And finally, how do you provide a safe environment for the child, a nourishing environment for the child to bloom. The course itself is designed in a way that it's a safe environment because it's a cohort of a few people, a few parents coming together, a safe space where we can share with each other, learn from each other. There's just so much that we learn from each other and what we are able to do. Also the space between, like for example, we have this course on every Sunday, and it really provides you 7 days of practice in between. So to go and implement the learnings and then come back and say, okay, this worked, this didn't work, this is something else that we saw, where does this come from? So all those explorations can happen in the course. Shraddha, do you want to talk about this, different aspects of the...
We could, yeah, I'll briefly touch upon Ram. So basically where we come from during the course, so as Ram said, we're going to work on each of the parts of beings. And there'll be like one dedicated session for each one of them. How we will take it is not more in terms of, theory of what that part of being is, but more in terms of an inquiry that you have, which is going on with your child. So let's say a child, we are talking about dynamic energy, and we say the child is very energetic, doesn't sit at a place, how do we deal with it? So we basically, when we take this in, we will look at it as an inquiry. And me and Ram may not be sharing a lot of to-dos with you, but me and Ram will be exploring a lot of ways which could help you, broaden your inquiry, put in different perspectives. Then you go back and experiment, which is why this is a 13-session long course, right? And each week there is going to be a session. So after each week, there'll be things that you'll do during the week and then come back with your own, what came out of those experiments, and we kind of evolve together. So that's basically the framework. Ram, just one thing that I want to also point out too is that instance tool that we saw, we actually intend to do it for the family. So for example, if both the parents want to take it up, great. But if there is a larger family that stays together and you think it's worth doing an instance for them as well, do let us know, because then we get to understand all the kind of strengths that the family has and the perspectives that come through. So yeah, that's about it, Ram, for this one.
Thank you, Shraddha. And as we saw, these are, some of the tools, some of the assessments that, are included as part of the course. So there is the InStrengths profiling tool that we saw. You get an InStrengths report. And that, as Shraddha said, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for your spouse, you can do it for family. And then, like Deepti said, compare and see, okay, where is each person coming from? And then understand each other much better at a part of being level. Then there are these cards that we spoke about, in Strengths Insight cards. Then we started with the core discovery, finding out what's the core of yourself, your spouse, your child. Then the parenting practices matrix, which basically helps you, any challenge or any developmental need that you want to work towards, then how do you create small practices that can be done in order to, arrive at that. So that's the parenting practices matrix. The other thing we want to touch upon is that we will also be using a parenting journal, and where you'll be journaling different things, different thoughts, different challenges that are coming as we, go through the course, your own thoughts, small wins, or small things that are positive things that happen that are really motivating you to go forward further, etc. So journaling really helps you note down your thoughts, reflect, and do a lot of the stuff. Two other resources that we would highly recommend people who are coming to the course to buy is, one is this book by Arul called Into Great Depth of Being, which explores the part of the being in great detail. And the other is this book called Flame Within, which is a set of inner practices, for our evolution. So these two are resources that are additional resources, optional resources that are not included in the course material. The other stuff which we mentioned already, all the assessment and all, is all part of the course. So that's Shraddha's profile, and
We could skip all of this.
that's mine. And then, so that's fundamentally the course. Any questions? Anything that we can help you
I
understand?
just want to add one thing here, Ram.
Yeah, please, Deepti, go ahead.
Taking questions. So one thing that is about this course is usually practices are crafted like, in a superficial way, wherein it doesn't go to the root of the problem, which Shraddha was also mentioning. So when you're doing certain practices, you are also happy and you're very much aligned and fulfilled. At the same time, the child is also very happy and fulfilled while doing this. So both of you are blossomed and there's a lot of joy around while doing these practices. Also, a big shout out and thanks to Ram and Shraddha for taking this journey. I'm wishing both of you great success with this, because I know the kind of passion that both of you carry for parenting, and anyone who comes to this course is going to be greatly benefited out of this. So best wishes to both of you.
So much, Deepti, and special thanks to you for such a short notice agreeing to come and share your experience of doing this core discovery, your experience of working with your child, etc. So thank you so much.